Hey guys, today I want to talk about Apple and why Apple's AI integration, especially with ChatGPT, will boost device sales and margin and basically extend their growth story and get the benefits of the current market narrative. So let's begin. So Apple made good on expectations when they announced generative AI integration across their software and applications. Accessing these features will require some as much as 85% of Apple users to upgrade all their devices in the next few years. So basically, a super cycle of device upgrades will be needed. This means revenue growth in 25 and 26 will be 10% ahead of the current 6 to 4% expectations, primarily because of all the new devices will have significantly more compute capacity and inference ability to support AI integration. So, a couple of key takeaways that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Five takeaways for this video. The first one is AI intelligence, or Apple's way of coining AI, puts Apple back into the AI race and therefore into the AI growth story in the markets. Next one is AI will drive device sales for the next 3 years, and the timing of the rollouts with the new features will determine the velocity of sales and therefore um, Apple's stock price. Most of AI will be powered by Apple's own models, essentially developing the inference, which Apple can have a big advantage to. OpenAI's partnership is for more complex tasks as of now. And the thing is that this company, Apple, is the only big tech player that avoids spending massive amount of AI infra, which provides to just general margin upside compared to other big tech companies. And finally, their commitment to privacy and simplicity is going to be why users are going to flock towards Apple AI compared to other companies' AI because of the worry about how AI can be invasive in terms of your privacy and data. So let's talk about Apple AI features. Apple effectively brought their software and applications up to AI speed, closing the AI gap that dampened investor confidence over the past year. The features will be available later this year from their recent AI event, but it's enough to ignite a 2 3 year upgrade cycle. For those who've been following the rapid progress of generative AI, Apple's AI features may be considered catch up, but the thing is that Apple buyers are everyday people who have not experienced generative AI. They're not software engineers or they're not people deeply in technology who are checking the day to day. They're average consumers. So, uh, features like text composition, image generation, editing, are along with organizational tools will make Apple stand out. Apple's value proposition with AI is basically the company's unique proposition to accessing user information or user data, email messages and photos, for example, to train on their own inference or models to personalize the user's experience. Additionally, Apple is the only company that controls the entire device ecosystem, which will make AI extremely useful and sticky, which is going to resonate with the consumers. Siri will further Apple's position as a player in AI, but users can now dictate with Siri within their Apple applications to perform actions like finding photos, creating routes, and rewording emails. And then the more complex tasks can utilize OpenAI's API to generate further possibilities. So that's one. Number two, for growth and shares, the new AI features will start a slow wave of upgrades over the next 3 years. 85% of Apple's active installed base does not have the latest iPhone 15 Pro or the M1 chip. This means that people will eventually upgrade their devices to realize the full potential of Apple intelligence. In other words, Apple has 1.9 active devices that need to be updated to utilize these AI features. I envision after the iPhone upgrades, after people testing out the AI intelligence or Apple intelligence, they will soon upgrade their Mac and iPad so their devices can leverage AI. These features are not enough to spark an upgrade supercycle until the next year. So starting December quarter of 24 and 25, they're going to get this supercycle wave of upgrading as more people are going to be exposed to the functionality as well. AI intelligence will be available on third-party applications as well. Think about like Snapchat or YouTube, for example, utilizing Apple Intelligence to expand the capability and users' ability to use AI on their local devices. AI intelligence will not be like a new revenue leg like iPad or services are, but it's going to be that revenue booster for iPhone and total revenue growth and help Apple be in the AI growth story like other companies are trying to get on, such as Amazon and Google, for example. iPhone sales have been slow in the past, but with the reemergence of AI intelligence or Apple intelligence, you could be expecting from 5% growth in F24 to potentially 10% or even 12, 14% in F26. Keep in mind the iPhone is a 50 to $100 billion quarterly sales that they get. So this is one of the biggest or the biggest um, opportunity for growth for Apple itself. In terms of valuations, with the AI narrative in effect, they can earn $9 in expected price earnings compared to the current expectation $7. So if there is a 3 to 5 AI bull market, you can expect a 35x multiple, which Apple currently trades at 29. So this makes Apple into a value stock, into a growth narrative with AI leading the way. If you're thinking if the bull market continues, this means that um, the market expectations might be almost to $5 trillion. So Apple could be a $5 trillion market cap. It, as a reference, they added $400 billion in market cap in post WWC when they released Apple Intelligence features. Why do I say $5 trillion in market cap? Keep in mind that there's going to be a super cycle for the iPhones, which is going to lead to 10 to 12%, 12 to 14% in F25 at 26 in growth, and that's going to lead a downstream effect onto services, iPad, and Macs. So let's talk about the models that actually power Apple Intelligence. So I think this is the most underrated aspect regarding artificial intelligence, which is that Apple is going to develop their own models that are going to be local to every individual's iPhone or iPhone or iPad for that matter. So Apple's own models will power all the AI intelligence features. And partnering up with OpenAI is only for the more difficult tasks that Apple was late to the party with. So, how is Apple going to do this? Where they're going to create something called an SLM or small language model that keeps the compute on the device as possible. This is the future of how companies are going to operate using artificial intelligence, where they're going to use small language models that will be local to the device. So an SLM in this case will be a small $3 billion parameter that will likely power most of AI usage, including tasks we do, such as text, email, music, and more. For example, um, for those who want to use more complex tasks and more smarter AI or a bigger LLM, they will use an LLM directly, such as GPT-4, which has 1 trillion parameters, which is going to be 300x bigger than Apple's SLM. The bottom line is anything run on device iPhone, iPad, or Mac is the new private cloud is on Apple model. OpenAI comes into play for more complex tasks. Another important tidbit is they're going to allow integration with third-party LLM of your choice, Grok, Gemini, Claude later as well. So during Apple's March quarter, the CFO suggested that there won't be no changes to Apple's capex plans, like building out infrastructure as they build out AI. But I think what it is Apple can thread the needle quickly in getting speed up to AI by maintaining their hefty profit margins. So they made up ground by partnering up with OpenAI. OpenAI gets distribution to $2.5 billion devices, 2.2 active devices, and then the hardware that runs an Apple proprietary SLM is the device itself, which is paid for by the customer. So Apple is building a private cloud, so it's going to be smaller capex needs. So what is unique to Apple is the genius behind Apple Intelligence is removing the friction of using generative AI. Chatbots is pretty intuitive, but there's still a learning curve in prompting. Apple is going to make it so easy that you won't even realize using AI, and that's what AI really is about. So, with Apple's competitive advantage, Apple's hardware, software, and services is unmatched. User accounts are integrated all across the devices, and tasks can start one device and finish on another. Last importantly, Apple's rooted identity is security. Um, Privacy is another core component that Apple cannot afford to lose as well. So AI can be daunting with how data is stored and utilized, but Apple will utilize its own models via Apple Silicon to do as much compute on device and private clouds to key compute and data in device. OpenAI's ChatGPT is going to be available for more complex tasks, which users can opt in, only sending the necessary and relevant data to process. So, bottom line is Apple Intelligence is going to be the growth story for Apple to potentially um, go to a $5 trillion company. It's a $3 trillion company now. It's going to go to $5 trillion because of the artificial intelligence. So keep in track and watch out for Apple, and they're going to be amazing because they're going to have the inferences locally on in the cloud. I mean, locally to your own device. So your device is going to be learning real time, and the AI is going to be specially unique to you. Thank you guys for watching.